We also got college football cooking up as well, right? That season is going to be coming real soon. You got camp starting at the end of this month. Coach Johnny, I know you miss camp so much. Um,
Oh my God.
Man, obviously the big picture is the CFP and the national championship at the end of the day. We won't really talk about our national championship favorites, our teams we like, but I do want to ask a certain question. When we last season, yeah, teams like Indiana, Arizona State kind of shocked everybody in a way of making it to last year's CFP. And then Arizona State actually had the first round bye for winning their conference. So this year, who is somebody that you are predicting to be an unexpected bid to make the CFP? Zach, I'll
Ooh, I'll
start.
go first, baby. Never mind. Go Zach. Go Zach.
Shit, I'll go. Shit, I think I'm going with Prime, man. They've only improved every year. They're a sleeper team for sure. I think they're gonna get at least 10 wins next season. They just keep getting better. He's bringing in a lot of young talent. He's totally reversed that program around. I don't see them losing any more games than they won last season. That's my sleeper pick. I think they'll definitely get a spot in that in that college football playoffs.
Johnny, my bad. Go ahead.
I'll go with the team who's actually playing Colorado week 1, and that's Georgia Tech. I just looked, they're picked fifth to finish fifth in the ACC. They've had back-to-back 7-win seasons, which is just mediocrity. But this is the third year that Brent Key's been there. He's the head coach. He's from the Coach Saban tree. He's really he's done a great job building that program. Their quarterback, Haynes King, this is going to be his third year there. They got their starting running back, Jamal Haynes, coming back. They got another starting receiver, Malik Rutherford, coming back. So those are three key pieces on offense that are coming back, and they averaged 31 plus points a game last season. They took Georgia to 8 overtimes last year. And then defensively, they revamped the D line through the transfer portal. Their leading guy with sacks last year was a linebacker with 3. So they loaded up the D line through the portal. Secondary wise, they only had 5 interceptions last year. So this was a defense that didn't produce much. They went out and hired Blake Gideon, who's a 2-time national position coach of the year from Texas. He's been the secondary coach there for I think the last 3 years. They went and hired him to be the defensive coordinator. He's going to turn that thing around. And then the offense is led by Buster Faulkner and Chris Winkie, who's a former Heisman coach. So they got 2 really good offensive coordinators. They got a quarterback who in the last 2 seasons, he's combined for 62 touchdowns. He's ran for double-digit touchdowns the last 2 years. He's dynamic. I wouldn't be shocked if he's in New York at the end of the season for the Heisman show. This is definitely a team that is going to surprise a lot of people. Their toughest road game is at Colorado week 1. And then the rest of the road games are at Wake Forest, Duke, NC State, and Boston College. That's it. To me, for that conference, that's an easy road schedule. It's a very favorable schedule. And I got Georgia Tech going to the college football playoffs in 2025.
Yes, sir.
Ain't they quarterback like 27 years old?
Yeah.
Old ass nigga.
It may work in their favor.
Yeah, it may work. Not a bad take.
Yeah.
That's me. Bet. This pick, man, it took me some time to really think about it because I didn't want to add any bias in there. So this is a no bias pick. It's not because I attended this school. It's not because I played for this school. It's not because I got that jersey in the back. But I'm going to go Oregon State, man.
Oh.
I think, hear me out. If you don't know who Trent Bray is, let me just give you a little backstory. Not really a backstory, but think of Dan Campbell, but in a college system or in a college team. That's pretty much who Trent Bray is. He was a former linebacker. When I played there, he was a bit insane. He was the guy that got the defense riled up. He was a linebackers coach. I think last season he was dealt an unfortunate hand as the Oregon State Beavers, or like the Pac-12, basically collapsed. So he lost a bunch of players. One of those key players being DJU, who the season that he played, he actually had Oregon State 10th in the country. So they were borderline on the college football playoffs with DJU. I think they've always needed a quarterback. So what do? You go in a portal, you get a guy like Malik Murphy, who played at Duke last year, almost threw for 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 picks. I think anytime Oregon State has had a quarterback, it's always looked very good for us. I don't know what it would do. And I don't know. We're technically not in the Pac-12 yet, and we're still independent. So I know it's going to be based off like who we're playing with the Pac-2, but I give them a good chance. The schedule is very favorable this year. Like I said, anytime Oregon State gets a good quarterback, they always got a chance. So, like I said, no bias or nothing. Give me Oregon State as a sleeper to qualify for the Pac-12 or for the college football playoffs.
You said DJU. That sounds familiar. What's the last name?
Yeah.
I ain't finna disrespect that man's last name, bro. I cannot say it.
Nah, that's what's up. Scoob, you up next.
Oh man, I'm probably just gonna go with USC. Just because they ain't been there in a minute. They ain't been there at all actually since it opened in 2014. We ain't seen them in no natty. I think last year they gave a lot of these top schools a run for their money. It was close games, just slipped at the last minute. I think they have a good wide receiver core that with Makai and Jacoby. I think just the quarterback thing is a question, and them losing, Miller Moss puts them in like a sleeper category, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I ain't got too much to say. I think USC will be that sleeper team that finally makes their first appearance in the college playoffs.
Miles, you smiling over there. You must got a good.
Oh, man, brother, I was waiting for you to call my name, dog. No diddy. Gentlemen, let's take a trip to Columbia, South Carolina, where the real USC is, the University of South Carolina, home of the Gamecocks, baby. The stadium's always packed out, man. The fans always show them love. And that's just one team you want to get hyped about and see them prosper. They got the Heisman dark horse candidate and Lenore Sellers. He had a pretty hell of a good season last year. They didn't finish too well, but that can change this year as they're coming back a little bit more refined, a little bit more chemistry, a little bit all the above. But he is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. And we mix his rushing ability with Raheem Sanders, their running back. Together, they combine for over 1,500 yards and about 20 touchdowns. So, AKA, they must see TV. On the outside, they got DK Metcalf, prototype, Megatron Jr., and Nick Harbor, a 6'5", 230-pound receiver. And he had an underwhelming season last year, but these are things you could coach and teach. And when you have a guy that's 6'5" and can run like a 4.3, you're going to find a way to get him involved in the offense. That's just a necessary thing. Let's take a look at the other side of the ball. They got one of the best run tackling safeties, run protecting safeties, and Nick Imawari, who led the team in tackles last year with like 80-something tackles. And on the edge, they got Jadeveon Clowney 2.0 and Dylan Stewart, which makes his defense a notable challenge. Now, let's be honest, they're in the SEC. And I think we all know the SEC is the toughest division or toughest conference in college football. And they will have to run the gauntlet against teams like LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, and to finish off the season, they're going to have to go against Clemson. But one thing, if you guys know what a Gamecock is, that's a fighting chicken. It's go claw, it's go scratch, it's go peck, it's go fight to the death to get the job done. So if there's a team that knows about gritty, physical toughness, and I think it's South Carolina. So I got Gamecocks as the dark horse for that college football playoffs.
Ain't Nick in the league, though?
You said what happened?
Ain't Nick in the league, though? Didn't he just get drafted?
Nick Harbor?
The safety? No, the safety.
Manwari or
Did he
whatever.
get
Just got drafted. I think he
But he's
just got
gone?
drafted by the
Yeah, he's on the
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah, he out of there.
Nick
Nah,
gone.
Still a great analysis.
There goes
though,
Miles'
bro.
clip. There goes Miles' clip.
Yeah. Dang.
I would
You
say
can
this
that
about
for
South
post-video,
Carolina.
man.
That is one of my favorite places to play. Like for real. Like we were. If for those that don't know, I played at Mizzou. So when South Carolina played at Mizzou, we were both ass, right? Like hovering around 500, and it's late in the season. So trying to fight for a bowl game. But when we played in Columbia, South Carolina, like you couldn't tell. Like usually nobody come see Mizzou at that season. It's like we'll show up, just support the team. We may be leaving at halftime. You couldn't tell that both teams was fighting for a bowl game and were below average during that season. But
Hold on. Can I ask something real quick? Just real quick. Anthony, he mentioned that he played. I was never going to bring this up, but we did have a crossover Pac-12 versus SEC. We did travel to Mizzou, and I got to play my big cousin, and I cooked his ass. So if y'all, the film is gone. I had about 152 tugs, but it was a great matchup. I think
Film is gone.
I want y'all to do this right now.
He got
Oregon State. Search up Oregon State versus Mizzou.
Hey, look,
Find
listen,
the stats.
He got a couple PBUs, you know what I'm saying? But I think, I give myself the edge in that matchup. It was cool though. Both of our moms was there. They loved it. My fault. You go to the next person.
We left Aaron.
Wait, did that really happen?
Y'all really
No.
played each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all would have, bro. Y'all would have known
I was
this.
like, when did this happen?
Right. I was like, no jersey swap, no nothing.
That was a good sell, Aaron, because everybody
You feel
believed
me?
it,
Hey.
even our group. All right, but last but not least, we're going back to the Big 12, back to where Prime's conference is, right? And before I go into this team, you got to choose somebody from this conference. This is where Arizona State played, and nobody expected them to be in this spot. Anything's up for grab in this conference, in my opinion, right? You don't have no heavy hitters like Bama, LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan over this conference. Texas is a bunch of wild cards. So that's why I think Texas Tech will make their first CFP appearance. They finished 7th last year in the Big 12. Not really too impressive, but they, when you have a season like that and you're not really performing where you want to be, you go down and recruit your ass off. So they got the number 2 transfer recruiting class, not the overall, but just transfers in general. They got a couple of all conference guys. So Lee Hunter, he's a D tackle. He's a second team Big 12 guy. You got he coming from UCF. You got David Bailey. He's coming from Stanford. He had 7 sacks last year. The number 12 player out of the transfer portal. You got the number 14th player out of the transfer portal named Howard Sampson. He went to North Carolina. Romello Height, actually coming from the school Johnny mentioned, Georgia Tech, number 27. And then I'm going to mention this name because of Aaron. He'll know why. Quentin Joyner from USC. He used to use the hell out of that running back in NCAA 25. So,
Hey, he a real one too, man. Shout out to him, dog. You didn't win me a couple natties too.
Just one. But you have
one is all I needed to talk my shit. Respect.
Yeah, I got 4 in that league. But 3 guys is on the preseason Big 12 all-conference team, including 2 of the transfers and then 1 returner who is actually predicted to be, or he's actually the preseason defensive player of the year. He is the middle linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, right? And their defense were not good at all, right? Their defense, they were second to last on defensive yards and scoring, right? And they were first in plays, meaning that they couldn't get off the field. They were not getting off the field. They was last in pass defense. So it makes sense why they're going for a lot of defensive guys in the transfer portal. They was also second to last in first downs. So they couldn't get off the field. Everybody kept converting first downs. But the thing about it, they were 5th in third down stops. So the early downs, they was just getting trashed, right? But if they got to that third down, they were doing okay. They held their own there. So, and all of these stats, this is within the conference. I didn't mention that before. So with that being said, Micah Hudson, who was a 5-star wide receiver, he actually entered the transfer portal, went to Texas A&M, re-entered the transfer portal, and came back to Texas Tech. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but you do want to try to keep the talent. He is obviously a 5-star. Now, I'm not usually a high school guy, but if this is a guy that left your program and you're bringing him back, he must be special, or he must be a guy that you're really trying to keep around to make sure that he is part of your program. Another guy on offense that I like to mention is Baron Morton. He is the quarterback. You'd never heard this name before. I'd never heard this name before, but he had 3,335 yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Now you may look at that and be like, man, like, ain't nothing spectacular about that, which, I mean, is nothing spectacular. Just like that. But in the middle, he suffered an AC joint sprain in the Big 12 opener, and then he suffered a collarbone injury in late October, right? And then he was around like the 250s, 200 yards per game, but the last 2 games really says something about him to me. He had 401 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he had 359 yards and 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games of the season. He missed out on a bowl game because he just got his surgery, but he was 3rd in yards in the conference per game. So, once again, if this is my quarterback and you're fighting through these injuries and you're even putting out the performance like that, this is the quarterback I want to have on my team. So, hey, the Red Raiders, I'm excited for y'all, and guns up. I got y'all going to the CFP.
If y'all don't give my dog a follow, this podcast a follow for that breakdown, man, y'all some hoes in Texas, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. He just broke it down for y'all, bro. Need like at least 5 follows off that shit.
I did just see Texas Tech drop the second most money on their roster
Yes.
NIL wise. So it's Texas number 1, Texas Tech 2. I think Ohio State or Oregon was 3 and
What
4.
was it, like
Yeah.
30 M's or something like that?
I think it was like 28, 30
Damn,
million,
that's
something like
They
that.
just they
crazy.
just signed a freshman $5 million.
Boy.
Or a high school recruit. They're giving them $5 million, and I don't know if it's like a 3-year deal or whatnot, and then they may renew it if he stays or whatnot. But it's supposed to be $5 million.
College
That
damn
oil
near
money
turning
different
into
out
what
there.
man.
Texas money
Man.
different.
And
But speaking